Hello everyone, welcome to the next video, the fifth lesson in advanced runner debugging. In this one, we're gonna get to getting familiar with the debugger extensions. Okay, so we will be using different debugger extensions to manage debugging. So the managed code, when you actually refer to managed code, we are referring to .NET code. So it has different versions from 1.1 to 4.5, and now it's 4.6, which is not added in the slide, but the latest is 4.6. Okay, so .NET framework from 1.1 to 4.6, you have to have the base version of the CLR is implemented in one DLL. You can say from 1.1 to 3.5, which is in MS Core WKS.dll, and from 4.0 it's called CLR.dll. So this is one of the most important DLL in terms of .NET is concerned or CLR is concerned, and you will see this in many of our commands and outputs. Okay, so that is one important thing to understand. So MSCO works or CLR.dll. So to debug managed code, basically you can debug managed code in a machine where you don't even have Runner framework installed. All you have to have is MS Code DAC, WKS, DLL, and the son of strike, so the debugger extension. So the MS Code DAC works is something which you have, which which is provided by Microsoft, which comes with the Runner framework, which is used for debugging purpose, where it can analyze the objects or which is inside the runtime and give us more information. For example, a string stored in .NET Framework or the string stored in C++ is completely different, and MS Code DAC works can give us that extra detail. So the SOS DLL, which is the main DLL which we will be using throughout the series, need MS Code DAC works also to be loaded. Okay, so there are different debugger extensions. SOS is one of them, which is provided from Microsoft, and PSS Core is also provided from Microsoft. PSS Core has different versions. PSS Core 2, 4, you can actually download these separately. And we have extensions called SOS EX and NetEX. We will go through each of these. Okay, so different version of .NET we use needs different version of these extensions. So 1.1, all we need is SOS DLL, but 2.0 we have a lot of options. So many of these debugger extensions contains commands which can help us, get some more details about debugging. We will understand what an extension helps, but one example is a PSS core has commands which can give you more information about a session detail in a ASP.NET dump, or it can actually give us the details about a request, an HTTP request, and the response and other details like how long the request is running and stuff like that. So these things are provided for extensions. So different extensions provide different data, and which can help you debug scenarios. So different scenarios. Okay, so PSS core, and we have something called SOS EX.dll, which is provided by which is you can download from this website, which is also provided in the links. Okay, so SOS EX also has one thing which you have to note is that we have all these DLLs which have 64-bit and x86 version, and to get these DLL loaded to WinDBG, you need to download that version and then put it in the WinDBG folder. So if I download this DLL SOSEX, okay, and if I go, so this SOSEX.dll for the 64-bit, what I should do is I should actually download this, um, move this DLLs to, so I would be having Windows debugger. I think I have put it in C files, debugging tools. Okay, So our WinDBG is here. Okay, so you all you have to do is download this extension, whichever extension is SOS EX or SOS or NetExt. um, you say if you go to PSS Core, you would be able to download this PSS Core for from here Microsoft website. And once you download it, you just have to copy this and put it in the WinDBG directory in your machine. Okay, so let me go back to debugging. This is where I have installed WinDBG. I need to put it here. Okay, so I have to copy it over here. But one more thing is that, say sometimes your 32-bit WinDBG, if it's a 32-bit machine, it would be in the program file 66 folder only. But if it's a 64-bit machine, we have 32-bit WinDBG in WoW64 folder. So you need to copy that extension DLL here, and make sure that you have to copy the um, right version of DLL. Okay, otherwise it will not. So if I go to SOSEX, you need to download x86 version and then copy that x86 version inside um, WoW64 folder, which is where the 32-bit version of WinDBG is. Okay, so that's one thing which you have to know, keep note or keep it in mind. Okay, so that's where we have. So we have different extensions. Similarly, we have netext.edll, which is in Corplex. Okay, you have to download the correct bitness of this and then copy it over to the WinDBG directory. Once you copy it over to WinDBG directory, you can do something like this. Okay, you can actually do dot load and SOSEX. It will load that version, the correct version from the WinDBG directory. Similarly for NetExt as well. Okay, or PSS Core for that matter. Okay, and let me go back to the slide. Okay, and that's about it. And coming back to SOS. So SOS, as I explained, SOS needs MS Code DAC works DLL. So MS Code DAC works. How can we see that? So if you run any debugger extension which is loaded, you can get that information using another command called .chain. So I see that I have SOS and SOSEX loaded. Okay, so I have SOS from two places loaded, but it doesn't matter. Both are the same version. But I see that I have SOSEX loaded from WoW64 because this is a 32-bit debugger. How do you know which version of the debugger it is? So you can actually get that information here itself. You see that this is WinDBG and this WinDBG is of x86. Okay, so you have to have if it's a 32-bit process you're debugging, you need to load the dump, or you need to attach the WinDBG which is of same bitness. And also you have to make sure that you are loading 32-bit version of your debugger extensions. Okay, so I have loaded SOS from SOSEX of 32-bit, which is I copied it over into WoW64 folder. Okay, so now say you don't have SOS DLL of the same version of .NET Framework in the machine which you're debugging. Or if say you can actually load SOS, or if it's not loaded automatically, you can load it using load by command. Load by SOS and CLR. What it does is it goes to the folder which CLR is present, which is actually loaded into this dump, and picks up SOS from that directory. So how can we see that? So we have a command called lmvm, which we can actually say, or I can just do lm also. It will list all the CLR. So LMVM, we do CLR, it will it will give you the DLL, CLR.dll, the details like where it got loaded. So it's loaded from this. So this load by command, dot load by command, but what it does is it goes and looks for SOS.dll in the CLR DLL. So we have SOS, load SOS from the same um, location of CLR is loaded, so you can do this also. Okay, so you can load SOS DLL like this as well. So this is another command which is available at our disposal. So now we have so many commands like netext, SOSES, SOXEX, SOS, and similar. So how can we get information on this? So we have most of these debugger extension has this help command. Okay, so if you just do help, it'll give you um, all the commands which is in available inside that debugger extension. So we have so many commands like this in our this thing called help. We have mbm, so many these things, and you can actually get help of all these things by running bang help command. And say if you want to know mk, you can just run that. So basically this actually went to SOS, so I have to do dump obj. Here we go. Okay, and you can actually get the details of that. So dump command, and then get the details of that by running bang help, and the command name will give you the help of that. Okay, so that's how you get. So this is an example of I've just run SOS help, and it'll give you all the commands available in that. Similarly for any extensions. Okay, so that's about debugger extensions. I have given the references in the slide deck. Please go and download these extensions and put it in your WinDBG folder. That's all. Please go to the next video to understand different commands available in these extensions and how to use that. Thank you.